And it's recording now as well, Doctor.
Excellent, thank you. I will run those presentations for you, so you can just do that. Just remove this from this and minimize this. Take it somewhere. Okay, good. So we have so far good, yeah, 80, 86. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Number is will go up.
Yeah.
Just 5 minutes to
We'll
everyone.
just give them a few minutes to get in, and then we can start.
It's end of the year, and
yeah,
still people are here. This is great. Yeah. We wish
Good
everyone
evening.
a happy new year.
Yes, yes.
I hope next year or the 2021. We cannot say next year is already almost here.
Yeah,
will be better than 2020.
Pray and hope for that.
Yeah.
But I'm confident that 21 will be much better than 2020.
Yeah. It's difficult to get something worse than 2020, but you never know. I think with the vaccine, with the development going on, and people understand how to deal with the things, it will be much better.
Yeah.
Still, safety should be number one, and we all
safety
should
number one. Yeah, that's why even yesterday they decided that the next 2 weeks will be online for all schools, which is also a wise and good decision to take.
Yeah, and I can see your question. There's one slide there. It will explain exactly this issue, and it will become very clear, which about submitting the reflection report, which will come to that one.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We wish you all very happy New Year. Thank you.
But I think the last year, although it was not the best year, and we hope it will not be repeated in terms of the COVID-19 and the issue, but it did really push us to move into more seriously look at distance learning, online learning, e-learning, and we learn a lot from that one.
Yes.
Which an opportunity for the future that we can use, adapt, change based on the experience we went through.
100%. Yes. Yeah. There are always opportunities to explore. Yes. We learned a lot.
Yeah. And we learned that we should learn from each other and work with each other.
True.
I think something was amazing.
Yes.
Hi, Wafa. Hi, Wafa. How are you? Okay, I think we just 1 minute and then we'll start.
Okay.
And our program is very simple. Dr. Shireen will do some opening remarks.
Yes.
Then I will take you through a small activity just to get you online and help bringing some fun into this. It's just a fun activity. Yeah. Then we'll be going through the reflection report. There are around 80 of you have submitted the report. Yeah. We are going to give some highlight about the report, and we discuss it with you to share your thoughts and ideas with everyone. Dr. Shireen will take some of that to moderate it, and then Dr. Anne will moderate the one related to the vision and mission. And then Dr. Petra will moderate the last 3 questions. There are only 6 questions in that reflection report. And then Dr. Muhammad Fteha will come and give you highlight about the upcoming workshops. We have really a busy schedule from now until December next year to help you and provide you with lots of workshops and activities, and he will be talking about that one. Dr. Shireen, the floor
Yes.
is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Hamad. Good afternoon, everyone. And first, I would like to thank you for attending the Future School 2030 Professional Development Certificate Program. We're very delighted to have all of you attending this unique program developed and provided by our faculty at Abu Dhabi University. So thank you so much for your participation. Also, I would like to thank our colleagues, doctors and Dr. Petra, Dr. Hamad, Professor Tom, for developing and delivering the different modules. And I hope that each one of you gets benefit from the modules which developed and provided by our expert faculty at Abu Dhabi University. Also, I would like to extend my thanks to the staff members who supported delivering this program. We have Ms. Khulud, Rina, Patrick, Omar, and also the marketing department. We have a lot of staff members who really supported the development and delivering this program. So thank you so much. And I wish a happy new year, a year full of health, full of happiness, full of joy to each one of you. Now, as Dr. Hamad mentioned, this is our last session in the first series of the Education 2030 program. As you know, that the Future School 2030, this is the first series, and then there will be an upcoming series, which our colleague Dr. Fatiha at the end of this session will provide you with a lot of information about it. So you will continue with us, you will be with us till also the next year, till the end of next year. This is the last session, and in this session we are going to discuss your input in the reflection report. And I would like also to announce that it's very important that you submit your report in order to get the certification from Abu Dhabi University. So for the ones who submitted already the reflection report, thank you so much. And it was really helpful and really very nice to see your answers. And today we are going to discuss and to shed light on the answers from the reflection report. And for those who did not submit yet the reflection report, please go ahead and submit the report in order to get the certification. And as you can see in front of you now, this is the website and all information that will help you in submitting your reflection report. Today's session, we are going to go through the questions from the reflection report, and we are going to highlight some of the sample of the answers in order to create a debate. And if you would like to participate in the discussion, please raise your hand, and we will allow you to participate with us and to hear your point of view, your opinion regarding these interesting answers. So welcome again, and let's start our discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Shireen. As you can see on the screen, this is the link to the report, reflection report. We have only one assignment for you. I saw some emails, people asking me access to all assignments. There is only one assignment, which the reflection report that we need you to complete. It includes 6 questions. You can access it by just typing this link, or you can scan this QR code. It was sent to you by email, and also it is available through our community portal. So make sure, please, you complete it. We gave you until 3rd of January 2021. See, it's a long time. We are 2022 now. We'll give you until 2021. January. So use that opportunity. Please submit it because it's a core requirement to get the completion certificate. Otherwise, you will get an attendance certificate. We would love to give you all the completion certificate because you contributed in this. Patrick, if you can also put the link in the chat, if you can, will be good. Now, similar to every time we do, you can see you will need to get the Menti. So I have a small activity for you. It's similar to the Kahoot one. I have two questions. They are very general. They are not related to any subject, but the idea just to get you started. And also you will be hooked to the system. And the other thing, you will know that Mentimeters has similar thing like Kahoot. Those of you who used to use Kahoot, Mentimeter has exactly the same thing. And again, this is the way you subscribe. You go through Mentimeter, menti.com, and then you enter the code, or the other option, you just scan the QR code. We give you so many mentees during this workshop. Now we are expert in joining. But I noticed around 120 people who are active and joining. Others are not. Today, we want all of you to join, please. That's one thing. The other thing also, you can ask us questions through Menti. You don't need to go to the QA or of Zoom or the chat. You can directly ask on the Menti from your phone. But it requires that your phone or your tablet to be beside you. So every time you go back to it. So this is how to join. I can see so many nice faces. You need to choose a nickname and you need to choose one of these icons. So 52, by the way, you can have an activity with 2,000 people. Yeah, 2,000 is a huge number. Yeah, but that's how big it is. And if you need more than 2,000, you get it with special subscription. That's a different subscription, which I find it really interesting. Now, you can, as you said, you can ask questions, you can add comments to the slide, and those comments will keep coming on the screen. I enabled the comments and the questions. You have an option to moderate it, so it doesn't appear automatic. Third person will review it, but I just left it open. We are all here professionals and we know what we do. So I just kept it like that. So we need a little bit more to join, please. We have 150 now, so we need to go higher. Okay, so we need this one to be very crowded. And then we'll see who will win. Now, the questions are two questions, very simple questions. Again, the one who answer it correct and answer it faster will get more point. Now, the good thing with Menti, you can remove that parameter of faster. If you want focusing on the accuracy of the information, you will just select the correct answer. The also correct answer, they will get that. But I went for the time just to make it more fun. And the good thing, you can inject those questions anywhere in your presentation, so your student will be engaged with you. At the end, they will get a report of what they have achieved and what are the questions they answered properly or things like that. So it's nice. It's a mix of a presentation and activity as well. There are many other tools, as you know, to do that, but I think Mentimeter moved a little bit advanced. I'm using it for a long time, and I noticed they are adding extra things and doing some nice things. Okay, 75 is a good number. So we're going to start. Get ready. You need to be fast. You need to be accurate. Now, two questions. The first question is multiple choice. The second question, you need to enter a number from keyboard. Okay. Okay, so get ready. Okay. Here is the first question. How many sessions were presented in the ADU Future School Certificate? A session is a one-day presentation. Like today, this is a session. So how many sessions we did? Time is up. 72 answered correctly. Yes, they are 8. We had 4 modules, each module 2 sessions. So the answer is 8. So those people who did 8 have done the right answers. Let's see who will be the winner now on that one. So this is the score lead board. We can see the numbers is still, yeah, that's it. Who is in the lead? Shadi. Shadi is on the lead. Shadi, stick to it and continue that. Let's go to the next. Then we not do too far. The points are not huge. So there is a room for everyone to jump there and get there. The others, they are there. They are not far from this. Now, this is the second question. Here you just enter the day number. Times up. Now here are the numbers that been entered. The correct one is 7. Yeah, we started on the 7th, and there are, how many people said 7th? These are all the answers. Now I said enter just a number. Some people wrote December 7. Now the problem with this open-ended, it has some issues. I said just enter a number. Yeah. So you say 7, 2, 4, 5. Don't say a month or anything. Yeah. So that's it. Now we'll see who is the one who scored. Now this is the numbers and the scoreboard moving. And the winner is Rania. Rania, excellent. Congratulations, Rania. You are the winner. Okay. So it's a very simple activity like Kahoot, and you can use it in your class if you want. Now, this is the summary of the reflections report. As we said, we have 6 questions. So the first question was, what are the expected changes that the schools will be having in 2030? And we selected some of your answers. We looked at it and selected some of it to present it just as example of those answers. It's important you contribute, you ask questions like Q&A here on Menti. Also raise your hand, and if the comments that we selected are your comments and you would like to elaborate and explain it more, please raise your hand and talk about it. If you have other comments, please do that. We will try to manage the time that we finish on time with this one. Dr. Shireen, this is for you. Just unmute Dr. Shireen. I think you are on mute.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hamad. So the first question is, what are the expected changes that the schools will be having in 2030? And as Dr. Hamad mentioned, those are some samples of answers, and please feel free to elaborate, to comment on those answers. Some of the participants, they said that homeschooling will be more widely accepted, and self-study will be more of a norm for higher grades. This will result in quality education for the lower grades, and also we will get to see bright students doing extraordinarily well. They said also that this will inversely affect the job market revolving around education. Different vectors contributing to the conventional school structure would decline. So this is one answer. The second answer, the expected changes will impact flexible learning environment, flexible scheduling, intensified use of diverse community links, subject interdisciplinary links to tackle real world problems, less traditional approaches to assessment, more automated system, which is the implementation or having the technology as a major part in the future schools 2030. So that the focus is on individual student growth. And this is, I think, one of the major things that could impact the future education, that it will be personalized or individualized to ensure that each student will get the proper education that ensure his growth in the future and his progress. Also to increase the focus on student agency and self-management, including but not limited to social emotional health. And also this is also some of the important aspects and features that we will have in the future schools 2030. So I'm wondering if any one of you would like to add or to participate.
Yeah, Dr. Shireen Brisana would like to comment. I'm not sure on this slide or the previous one, but you can unmute your microphone, Brisana. You can talk now. We enabled your microphone.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Regarding the expected changes that the school will be having in 2030, what I feel means the main thing, research should be more increased among the students. The schools have to focus on the research laboratories, especially central research laboratories. I feel personally, I feel that changes have to be takes place nearly to 2030. So personally, I feel this is my expectation.
Yeah, this is great. Yes, I do.
Like a medical colleges, engineering colleges, even the schools have to establish the central laboratory organization in each and every schools, because students have to create their critical thinking through research processes. Especially, I'm a biology teacher. I believe in students who are for example, all the students are not unique, right? They are unique. They are not common to everybody. Some students can learn through the books, but some students will be using the brain to develop the research by practically. So I feel that by 2030, all the students from the low level of the schools to the high level of the schools, all the schools have to establish the central laboratory organization in every schools. It can be a minimum in a small amount of space, or medium amount of space, or large amount of space. But laboratories, especially the research laboratories, have to establish in all the schools. They have to make a compulsory. And one more thing I want to say, that agricultural, it can be a weekends or during school timing, all the students need to know about the agriculture, because food is our basic source for each and every person, right? So they have to believe that agriculture also should be one of the regular curriculum in their syllabus.
Thank you. Yes, I do agree with you. You raised important points regarding research, regarding laboratory, and also agriculture and others. Other area also could be very important in the future to focus on. And also, I do agree with the personalized learning system, because not all students are learning in the same way. So yes, I do agree with you. Also, some of the other answers are that the student from classroom can have global access to teachers, which means that the communication between the teachers and the students will become more easy using the technology. Students might have technical support, yes, but I think students are expert now in using the technology more. The new generation are even more than us. They are expert in using the technology and the notebook and to use different softwares. So they are aware, but providing them also with the technical support is something important. Carrying school bags is an optional, yes, because I think that all will be online. Notebook to be used only for the subject like mathematics and so on. Also, the professional typing skills. Yes, I think there would be more focus on soft skills also in the future. Anywhere, anytime learning virtually through live and recorded session. Yes, and this is also a point which we tackled before, that the online, the technology will help and support a lot. One of the important points, that the last 2 points, really I found them very interesting. To focus on critical thinking, analytical, and problem solving skills. I think this is something very important to mention and to focus on. Those skills are really important, and link them to real world scenarios for solutions, teaching methods, and curriculum. I think this point is really important to focus and emphasize. As well as the last point, which is related to sustainability and the eco-friendly learning environment, giving importance to sustainability. Yes, I think the last point really interesting and worth discussion. Does anyone would like to comment on the last 2 points from this answer?
I noticed from the expression here of the audience here, one of them seem have a question here saying, what does it mean, this one? Or what do you mean by that? I'm not sure where it is, which statement he or she, but if they want, you can raise your hand and clarify that if you want. But use those icons to express if you agree, you like it, you think it need to be discuss, and we'll do that. Okay, we have Batul. Go ahead, Batul. You need just to unmute your microphone and speak.
Hi, everyone. I believe can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. I believe students in 2030 should be able to be open more to other cultures and to other countries in the world. So since we are not limited now to schools and to physical buildings, we should be open to other schools, for example, to other countries. So students should exchange expertise with other students out of their country, and to get to know more about the environment, to get to know more about the education outside their physical area. And another thing is that students should think out of the box, try to find more solutions to all critical situations that you are facing. We have been pushing our students to think out of the box and to find solutions, but I think the situation now and in 2030 will be more encouraging. So the students will feel themselves more encouraged to take part and participate in finding more solutions for all the problems facing the world as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Batul. Yes, I do agree with you. And regarding your first point, I think that the second module of Dr. Petra, it was related to how to educate global citizens. So yes, it's very important to expose the students to other cultures and to be globally connected. This is something very important. And also the soft skills, to think out of the box, the problem solving, the critical thinking, analytical skills, those are very important in the future education. Thank you, Batul. This was really very helpful. Okay, so let's move forward and to see.
Dr. Shin, we have also Angelo would like to add a brief comment.
Sure.
He is already online.
Yeah,
so.
hi, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, to be part of this dialogue, this conversation. I think there will be a lot of changes, come 2030 when it comes to schools and education. I think the major thing that will have a very huge shift, not only the use of technology, that is already a given. I think what is dramatically will change is the way we're going to arrange the content and identify those who are really necessary, necessary to develop personal development for each student, and also to understand their connection not only to their immediate environment, but also to the global community. I think the school will have to create more bridges, and connect with other schools and institutions in order to enhance the student experience. School will really have to reinvent, and these changes will definitely come not only, I think, in the next 10 years, maybe even further. So the curriculum will have to evolve in something that is already designed for the future, not anymore designed from the past. The model is still very much old, and we need to have a new model that will make the person much, much better, and can really excel and adjust, and really make him or herself ready for the future. Thank you.
I agree, Angelo. Thank you so much. Angelo, you're from where? Yeah, he just left. I just
Unmute, yeah.
yes.
He needs to unmute. I think he muted his microphone.
I just wanted to check he's from which country.
Yeah, we have two more.
I'm from the Philippines.
Philippines. Welcome. Yes. Sir. Okay.
We have two
Thank
more
you.
hands. Should we do them? Just maybe we have few more slides. We'll do it. Keep your hands up, please. You will not feel tired by keeping your hand up here. We have also two questions here. We will not ignore them. We'll come back to them later. Yeah. Okay. So let's proceed to the next slide. Wafa, put your hand up, please, again. So I remember that you put your hand. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Some of the answers also, as you can see from the slide, the expected change could be focusing on practical learning, develop social skills, soft skills, and we said that before. Teachers as facilitator, I think this is something we noticed from the modules, that the new role of the teachers in Future School 2030, that teachers will be more facilitator to the learning process. Artificial intelligence for sure will play a major role in the future of schools. The school place will be more aware of meet community needs in terms of researching and experiment and empowering. So I think teachers as facilitator, artificial intelligence, to be connected to the community and empowering, this is the major points in this answers. Next answers.
Yeah, let's just get two contribution if you don't mind.
Good,
because
sure.
their hands are up, so we'll give them
Sure,
chance.
sure.
We have Jyotistana. Sorry if I'm not saying your name.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Jyotsna. I'm from India. Yes, I was thinking about sustainable pedagogy, which is going to really take shape now in this scenario. And I think it would really contribute a lot to children's learning, for students to learn, because we'll have a lot of technology even in our STEM and the STEAM also, because art can be taught through technology also, isn't it? And that is how I think everyone, all the teachers and learners, they'll get empowered. And teachers, of course, will become very nice facilitators of this. And then with artificial intelligence, it's going to get even better. So I'm a champion for sustainable pedagogy. And I'm with the kindergarten, but I've done my master's with Abu Dhabi University. I'm proud to say this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Wow.
Salwa, we have also Salwa. I'm just going by how it appears on the screen. Salwa, you need to unmute if you don't mind. Okay, I think we can proceed to the next one, then we'll come to the others.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Salwa.
Yeah, I'm Salwa from Rosary School, Abu Dhabi. I'd like to elaborate on the point of empowering, and I think this will be the role of the leadership. There will be a change in the role of the leadership in the sense of 2 points: school culture and the structure, organizational structure of the school. So the leaders will be leading the change in the schools, and they will be empowering teachers more and will be caring about the well-being, the balance between work and life as well. So there will be change in the environment of the whole school regarding teachers, regarding the leaders as well. This is my point. It would be empowering for every member in the school community, not only the teachers, but even the students, the teachers, and the leaders. School leaders will have a change, big change in the role of leaders.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, true. Thank you so much, Salwa.
Yes.
Okay, do we have any other hands, Doctor?
Yeah, we have many hands there, which is great. I think I'll get to Wafa to speak because Wafa is
okay.
put her hand twice.
Okay. Hi guys, how are you doing? In fact, somebody mentioned that we're not gonna go back to the old education or old whatever. Old is gold, guys. Old is still good. So the thing is, we can take from the old whatever matches or whatever is good for the coming future. So why don't we do that? Another thing, I'm not gonna say every single school in Abu Dhabi or in UAE, they are very well developed schools. They are teaching the students in a perfect way to make them global citizens. And if you look at the IB program, you can see a lot of different kinds of including those students in the society, including them, make them future leaders, make them future citizens. So this is a thing that is, we're getting them ready for the universities. We're getting them ready for the future. So we're doing fine. We're going the right track. But again, I'm not with the virtual learning. I'm not. I would love to communicate with my students. I would love to see them. I would love to talk to them, let them express whatever they have. Virtual learning, I don't know. Yesterday, I heard someone said, and he said it in Arabic. I'll say it in Arabic. He said, التعليم عن بعد بس هو البعد عن التعليم. This is what he said. Actually, wow, I like it. Because most of the students at home learning, if you don't trust that student and he's surrounded with his parents and they never know what he's doing, he's sleeping, he's taking a nap, he's not focusing, you have to keep calling them every single minute. I teach grade 12 and I'm the counselor of the school, and at the same time I keep like poking them all the time. Hey guys, are you with me? Hey guys, wake up. So this is kind of, you put 4 times effort during this virtual learning. So I hope everything is gonna be, go back to normal. This is what I want. And this Corona thingy will disappear and we're gonna go back to normal life and see the kids, see them graduate, not virtual graduation. This is what I would love to. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Wafa. Thank you for expressing your point of view. As you can see, we have some people with and some people against. But I think that really technology will take a major part in the education in the future. All these goals, always we need to have a foundation, or there should be basic for everything. I agree with you, but we are going to build on the old. So building, yes,
that's
building,
right, 100%
on the old to move forward.
That's correct.
Yeah. And also, Wafa, I would like to say that from my point of view, it's a continuous improvement process. Learning is a continuous improvement. There always there is room for improvement. We cannot stop improving. As much as we learn, as much as we do research, there is a room of improvement. And education as a major part, education 100% it will be impacted with the technological changes. It will be impacted with any changes that happened in our life. So we cannot just freeze any change that happened in the education. No, it will be affected, and it will move. It will act and react with any changes that happened in the environment. So
Dr. Shireen, I didn't say that against the technology. We're using technology till the end of the world. I mean it. And our students are born to be digital students because they're so super, and we're using a lot of platforms that you provided to us, and we're using them in a perfect way before the corona, and we're still using them. So we did not find any difficulty in that. So we always use them, even if the students, some of the students couldn't like attend school, they can catch up with whatever they missed through the online thingies, and we send this technology is there. But again, this is my point of view. I like to see my kids. I like to see my students.
Maybe there will be gradual change in the attitude of the new generation. Maybe it will be gradual. They will take responsibility. They will be empowered, as we read in some of the answers, the word empowering. Students need to be empowered, and they need gradually to move toward not using only the technology in games and something like this. No, in also learning. So maybe it should be gradually, and the students will be completely responsible of using the technology in the learning. So it will go gradually.
Dr. Shireen, this is the last slide on that. We have only Jinan want to say something. Jinan, please keep it brief because we are running off time. Thank you. You can unmute your microphone, Jinan, and give your comments if you would like.
Thank you, Dr. Hamad. Thank you, Dr. Shireen. I just want to clarify the attitude of Mrs. Wafa. I'm a school principal in Lebanon, and I'm facing lots of challenges while implementing virtual learning. It's not about the technology, it's about the autonomous learners. We didn't train our students to take their learning to be in charge of their learning, and that's what we are facing. So if this problem is solved by implementing and integrating the executive skills into the curricula instead of just giving them knowledge, and going more into practice, not only theories. So this will help us. And as you said, Dr. Shireen, it will gradually help us to implement virtual and hybrid learning more. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. True. I agree. Thank you for your comments. And engaging is very important. Okay. So the second question is, as a school leader, draft a vision, mission, and values for your school to reach to what is expected in 2030. And when it comes to this question, I'm going to ask my colleague, Dr. Anne, to moderate the answers of this question. Dr. Anne?
Yes, hello, good evening, everyone. And I'm happy to be here. It's also nice that it's like our collaborative effort. All right, so in terms of vision, mission, values, what we got as input from the people who already submitted the form was that, well, look, if we look at a vision that could be valuable, that could be applicable to UAE schooling system as a whole, and we look at different levels, right? We have primary, secondary, and higher education, even nurseries, would be to have an advanced educational system that aims to deliver the best learning experience that the UAE needs. Of course, as you know, visions, they are a bit more generic. Then a mission would be, so how can we achieve that? We can follow the UAE vision of providing the best quality of education for the next generations with new technologies and new ideas. So we can also apply strategies and technology and pedagogical tools that we already use in innovative ways. You don't always have to use new technologies and new tools, as we have heard from this discussion. And in terms of values, what comes up from many of the answers of participants is that the values that we try to instill in schools, in education, higher or secondary or primary, should be in line with UAE culture and traditions. And also, very important, UAE culture, tradition, and beliefs should be part of the journey that any student makes in their educational life. Thank you, Dr. Hamad. Maybe next.
I would recommend that we go through there are 6
comments. Yes, of course.
And then we have discussion. Okay?
All right, please. Yes.
The second one.
Second one. What we also distilled from the contributions that we already have, and we're looking forward to reading all the others who are still working on their answers and will submit before January 3. What we already got from the contributions already submitted was that as a school leader, what would then be expected for 2030, what would help us to prepare for 2030 would be, well, our school needs to strive to create a generation of creative learners, and creative learners globally, because we are in an international environment. Our students are coming from different nationalities, and we are operating in a highly internationalized environment. So also as a school, our mission would be then to keep pace with education and global developments, and developments not only in education, developments throughout the world. If you look at our education, needs to be connected to real life, real world problems to reach and develop the best. So instead of waiting for development, let's develop ourselves, let's develop our schools and see what works and see what doesn't work, and that way drive development instead of just following it from other actors. And then our school needs to be committed, or is committed, because this question referred both to what is and what should be. Our school is committed to the highest values in community culture and typically to spread tolerance among humanity. Right, Dr. Hamad? We have one more, right? And then we will do the discussion. Okay, so another example that we got from the contributions already submitted was, well, in terms of vision, I would say prepare children to be independent learners, effective and enthusiastic. Basically, if everything is focused on that, everything else, all the good things should follow. And then what is the mission? How can we make that happen? Well, for that, to achieve that vision, we need a school that seeks to make an outstanding impact on the community to create global citizens. So these were excerpts, things that we distilled, extracted from the contributions already given.
We still have this one. And
all right.
More.
2 more? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna share those with you. I hope it inspires those who are still working, although, of course, please do contribute your unique thoughts and your fresh perspective on these questions, right? So another participant shared that, well, a vision would be to achieve outstanding international education in an excellent school dedicated to providing leaders of the future. So it has typical keywords like outstanding, international, excellent, leaders. But then how to achieve that? For me personally, I always like the missions more, because it's about the how and what do you need to do to achieve that. The mission is then to encourage the best from its students, but not only the students, also the staff, also the parents, and also the community. And then to nurture a passion for learning community-wide and a culture of achievement. The value is then that we need to work in a partnership. It's collaboration with a wide array of individuals and organizations so that we can realize what we agreed on together. And our last example, Dr. Hamad, before we go to the comments, would be from a different participant saying that, well, in my eyes, vision should be, we need to develop confident, responsible, and independent learners who aspire to achieve their full potential by providing safe and supportive learning environments. All right, so there the how is already a bit part of the vision. Now let's go to the mission then. Well, the mission of the school is then to create future thinkers, leaders, great citizens, and brilliant communicators. And as values are mentioned, respect. So I like how it's very specific, going towards the values, not in general UAE values, but really defining what these values are. So those of you who are still working on the forum, please do specify which values you believe should be the most important, because values, any value sounds great, but which combination of 4 or 5 values would be the most impactful for you? Here, this participant mentions respect, integrity, equity, commitment, consistency, and honesty. If we work as staff according to those values, if we teach these values to the children in our schools, to the students, then we're good to go. All right, Dr. Hamad, I think these were the examples, right?
Sorry.
One more. All right, so sorry for that. The last example, but not least, then vision would be to design and prepare an innovative but also fair, and I love that word fair, educational system that encompasses knowledge, enhances pioneering, and builds on the resilient global citizen, resilient in the face of challenge, as we've seen, particularly this year. That characteristic is very important. And you can't assume that we have it all in it, right? It has to be trained and developed. Mission, set a developed and innovative educational system that then widens the knowledge, skills, and makes all the students apprentices of the global citizen in a way to meet the global market labor demands and challenges. You see, by the way, that in all these visions and missions, similar keywords are repeated. So in that sense, we are all very much aligned. The trick is, the challenge is, for those of you who still need to submit, to capture that in one coherent vision, one coherent mission that doesn't become too generic, right? That really becomes very specific and provides guidance for your organization to then develop. Values of this last example are then, and we've heard them also before, innovation and creativity, fairness, justice, equality, commitment, and transparency.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
No more.
All right. Well, but let's go to the most interesting part, which is then the interaction, right? Dr. Hamad, you can see who is here?
Yeah, I see who is here, and nobody raised hand yet.
All right, yet everyone's now thinking which are the main keywords.
Yeah.
Try to stick to, for mission and for vision and mission and values, try to stick to a maximum of 3 to 5 keywords to really capture what you want. In terms of the participants who are still working on the form, with vision, you want to describe this image. It's not a future scenario as we did in the first module, but it's really a vision of how you hope the future will look like in terms of education, and particularly focused from your organizational perspective. And then mission is, what do you do? What do you offer as an institution, as staff, to achieve that? Right. Sorry, my instruction nature comes up in talking about these things.
Next one, move to the next one,
Great.
then maybe we'll have more discussion.
After, looking forward to discussion. Thanks.
Dr. Shirin, unmute your microphone, please.
Yes. So now we will come to the third question, which is explain the role of the school leaders in supporting the community in 2030. And I think this is one of the important questions as well.
Yes.
From the answers, we can find that some participants replied by school leaders have significant role. So transformation. They should assess their organization and set a strategy to support all stakeholders with skills and resources to implement the vision. So the key words here is stakeholders.
Yeah, Dr. Shirin, we're losing you. I think when you move to this room, your connection is not as good as used to be. So we're losing your voice sometimes.
Yes, something.
Yeah. No issue, Dr. Shi. I think if Dr. Ann,
Hello?
can you moderate this one instead? I think you have an issue with the connection. We're not hearing you properly, Dr. Shirin. I would recommend Dr. Ann to take this one, if you don't mind, or Dr. Petra, and then we can.
Yes, sure.
I don't object, not at all. So another question that we ask in the form, which many of you are still working on, and I see that in the Q&A, people are asking for the link, and oh, when was this link made? Don't worry, in the Q&A as well as in the chat, you can find the link. Just click on it and you'll see these same questions that we're now sharing some sample answers on, all right? So one of the questions in the form is that, well, can you explain the role of school leaders? Then, as leadership was also a topic in our modules, what is then the role of school leaders, aside from teachers that are doing their regular job or the students themselves? The role of school leaders in supporting the community in 2030. As we've seen that education will become more of a community initiative, schools can still have a role, but it is more spread out. The responsibility for educating and creating this culture of learning and passion for learning is more spread out among the community. Now, what some people say is that, for example, school leaders, well, they have a significant role to transform that vision to all stakeholders. So translate what that vision means to the other stakeholders that are active in the school and work with them then to assess their organization's need. If we want to get there, what are we now lacking or missing, or what should we develop more, or what should we build on more, what strengths should we build on more to get there, and then set this strategy to support all of the stakeholders with skills and resources to implement the vision. So the follow-up will be a mixture of, Dr. Ahmad, yeah. The follow-up will be a mixture of various leadership styles. I'm happy we're referring to these different styles that are in your toolbox as a leader, right? So school leaders, they need to create a positive learning environment to all leaders, do effective collaboration with potential partners to evolve this community, and also allow students to use their learning in assessing community problems. So by making students work on community problems, you indirectly also reinforce the commitment and the interest that the community has in developing their learning. It's a win-win-win situation, a triple win situation in that sense. Other excerpts that we got from the answers were, well, major role of school leaders, supporting students in this new technological way of learning, because we've also seen that if you last year place a large group of students, boom, in the situation of distance learning, some will pick it up really quickly, others will not. It's related to personal preferences, it's related to background of parents, it's related to the means that you have available in your home situation, even in terms of resources, as in a quiet room to work in, right? So it's not that school leaders should help also students to deal with these new technological ways of learning. Easing up on the new learning tactics and introducing these technologies, but not only to the students, also to the staff. Because if you're not comfortable as a teacher in using these new technologies, you cannot transfer that confidence and that commodity to your students. Making revolutionary changes. So it's not just helping build, grow, develop, it's also making revolutionary changes. That's what you're there for as a leader. If anyone can do it, it's you as a main agent to educate everyone in the community. Also arranging virtual dialogues. So being a role model yourself in using these new technologies. Bringing forth successful examples of future school systems. So immerse yourself in what examples of best practices are there out there, and they are widely available online. And then learn from that and share that with the people around you. So let's go to the last one. Someone says, well, a strong leader of the school will be the one who's going to perform their own research related to what I just said and set the examples. So, yep.
Yeah, I have Angelo would like to say some comment.
Great. Please go ahead, Angelo.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Ann.
Yes.
I think the role of school leaders will have to also focus on promoting collective conversation, you know, because let's face it, there are a lot of leaders who are thinking that they are the only one who has the solution, you know. And I think in our schools we need to practice more collective conversation, sharing of visions, reinforcing collaboration with other agencies or players in education, especially those who are directly involved in the education of young children, you know. So there are a lot of stakeholders that are not playing right now or contributing. So I think leaders will have to really exert more effort to be more open and to be more progressive and more inclusive in planning for innovation and transformation in school.
Thank you very much. And I think you're spot on. Personally, from my experience as a management consultant, working on projects like cultural change, change management, the only way to get the machine moving, and with the machine, I mean the whole organization, and for example, it was subcontractors or customers, everyone, all the stakeholders around that organization, was to get their buy-in. How do you get the buy-in? By developing the vision, the mission and the values of that organization, and even involving them together. Yeah, and even involving them in the strategy. Because if you involve people that way, you make them co-owners of that change. And one, you're much smarter collectively. And two, you get the buy-in, the commitments that you otherwise would not have had. Even if your idea is brilliant, there might be brilliant school leaders. I'm sure there are brilliant school leaders out there, but then you will not get the buy-in if you just impose your thoughts and your vision and mission and values on others. It's much stronger if it comes from that collaborative effort. So thanks, Angelo, for that addition. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I moved to this slide because I think someone mentioned research multiple times, and you can talk about it.
All right, perfect. So this is another excerpt from our from the submissions that we've already have. And like we said before, leaders have to do their own research, but then share these examples of best practices with others. Now, if we now see also research not only about how the school should look like, and what the school should look like, how we should teach our students, but also research in general. Let students do their research. Let teachers even do their research, and you can do this even at the primary, secondary level, adapted to the students' capability level, of course. But that will also then help to get the students more into the role of active learners, finding answers for yourselves, how to train your critical thinking, not believe everything you read, which is a problem that we see nowadays a lot in terms of social media and the news coming from Facebook and other sources. So school leaders will then also have a major role in promoting research by students and by teachers, knowledge production in the process. This is typically an outcome of proper research, as well as then providing the policy advice, what type of policies and procedures will support this, and technical advice to create these capabilities among students and teachers. Thanks, Dr. Hamad. These are more answers. I'm surprised with how many we got. Great. Okay, let me comment on one or two. Which one would you like me to comment on?
This one.
This one? Okay, great. So aside from then the research, which is actually a very practical approach into developing creativity and innovative mindset and critical thinking and teamwork and all these soft skills that you have been talking about, the word community is also very, very important. So like Angelo said, you have to involve the community. If not, you will not get the buy-in. Now, the role of school leaders then in supporting the community in 2030 would also be then to empower and develop intangible skills. So what are these intangible skills then? Innovativeness, emotional intelligence, the entrepreneurial mindset, which does not mean, by the way, that all the students are going to start up their own businesses. It's related to if you have an idea and you believe in that idea, are you capable? Do you believe that you can create the resources that you are lacking by promoting that idea in the proper way, in the proper place, with the proper people? That's an entrepreneurial mindset, making things happen even though you yourself don't have the resources to make that happen. Cultural awareness, obviously, and critical thinking. Then, Dr. Hamad, you just have to guide me because we're short on time. So
yeah, this one, sorry.
This one? Okay. Now, working on, in terms of skill building, the skills that we talked about before was much more on the student level, right? Or what we want to that our students develop. Now, what we also see, if we look at the role of school leaders, actually, this was the answer. This was the question that had the most and the longest answer. So we have high expectations of school leaders. I hope we also find it in ourselves to be change agents, right? But school leaders, what they also should do, according to the participants that already submitted, is that the team, both him or herself and the team, which refers to the teaching staff, masters the following skills. You need to be an expert in technology, innovation, being resilient yourselves, making sure that this culture of change and acceptance of change is there by accepting it yourself, and being an effective communicator. Reading on, then, that implies that you have to train employees. You have to train yourself, you have to be open yourself, but you also have to train employees, and you have to dedicate resources to that. Not all training and all development has to cost a lot of money. You don't need big budgets to do that. You do need focused attention and effective focus to do that properly. And what else? Yeah, so find a program that works for you. Doesn't have to cost money, but do dedicate sufficient attention. That's even more money than the budget. Be entrepreneurial in that sense. The resources will come as long as you have something that attracts others.
Okay, and this is the last one. Promise.
Are you sure, Dr. Hamad, this is the last one?
I will be sure now. It's not the last one. Okay, so
2 more? Yeah?
Okay,
no problem. So as I said, this was the statement that got the most input from our participants so far, and many are still to come. So looking forward to reading those too. When we talk about the role of school leaders, then we also see, well, create that partnership. We already talked about it. Because that makes that pupils make greater progress only if you have the parents, the teachers, community members, and educational leadership working together. So you have to be a reference, one means to do this. So I like that because it becomes a bit more practical. So yes, of course, involving community. How then? Try to make it, for those of you who are still working on it, please try to make it specific. How can you do that? We all know that it's necessary. Now, one way is to work with the board of trustees, for example, and you put different stakeholders in that board of trustees. The other way is to reach out and establish real partnerships, perhaps research partnerships. So our students will investigate whatever issue or topic that your organization is interested in, and then you work together with that organization, civil society organizations, but also business, volunteers perhaps, and raise awareness about this new practice. I think we talked about that. Last one, Dr. Hamad.
Yeah, these are really excellent contribution. I hate just we skipping them, but this is the last one. I think what I'm proposing that maybe we'll summarize all these contribution in one document and send it to everyone.
Yeah, we should. But so we have to wait until January 3rd, and we need some time to read through all the answers and distill the main thoughts. And then we will distill the main principles and also the how. I really like that participants are also sharing on how to do that and give examples. Yeah. All right, so this is the last one for now, but there was much more. Dr. Hamad had to kill many of his darlings, as we say in writer's language, to make the selection already for these slides. So last but not least then, what is the role of a school leader in supporting the community in 2030? Well, first one, I think key point we said already, support all the stakeholders. So when working on that, focus both on the social, not only on the cognitive learning technology, on the soft skills, okay, but that means then social and emotional growth of children. So research in education clearly exemplifies the knowledge of all three, right, needed in today's educational leaders. Then, so all of the school leaders, like you have already done in this form, all school leaders should define, frame, and communicate what is the school's particular vision and mission, and make it very authentic and particular for that school. It will also help for the school to promote itself and present itself towards parents, and see if you're aligned and on basic principles regarding the teaching of their children. So the school leader should promote a positive learning climate. Yeah. I love, sorry, Dr. Ahmad, I know we're over time, but that last sentence is very important, which is mindful of instructional time, professional development, and the promotions of high expectations for teachers and learners, because what we want to avoid in any change that organizations go through is cognitive overload. Cognitive overload occurs when members of the organization, they see changes are happening. Maybe they even support those changes, but in their day-to-day practice, it just means that they feel that there's additional pressure on them. There's additional scrutiny, auditing, and there's additional work. And because of all that together, they're overloaded. And a typical human reaction to that is standing still. So what you want to avoid, what school leaders need to be very mindful of, is to introduce that change in doable components so that everyone is taken along and people are not cognitively overloaded. Sorry, Dr. Ahmad.
Shadi would like to make some comments, final comments on this one, then we'll move to the next one. Shadi.
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Hamad. Good evening, Dr. Anne. Happy holidays and Happy New Year in advance. Just want to say that since you mentioned the overload that leaders are facing, it's not only the leaders, it's also the teachers and all the staff in the organization. One of the main core things I think that we are suffering from is meeting the expectations of all the like control agencies or like KHDA and all these organizations that they are monitoring the changes. So not only what we are facing in the pandemic these days, it's also the expectations that we have to meet. So we are driving away from the vision and the mission, and this is not in the students' benefits. You know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. In the end, the intentions of all these organizations are good, right? They want to monitor if progress is being made on developments that everyone sees would be valuable for the future. However, we all have to be careful that the monitoring itself and the reporting itself doesn't take away the energy and the impetus that we have in working, in doing the actual work. And in that sense, I believe that a role of school leaders is also to try to take away that pressure as much as possible from the client-facing staff, which in this case is the teachers. So as a school leader, typically what would be very good for you is to take away that pressure as much as you can. Yes, of course, you have to involve the teachers in the reporting and but try to do it in a way that is as least intrusive as possible. To make sure that that as a teacher, you still have time and to be creative, and you still have time to implement a new strategy and to try a new technique and experiment a little in your class without then having to fill in 5 forms in what you did, why you did it, and how it worked out. So that's also definitely your spot on role of school leaders. Yes.
Thank you. I think Dr. Petra now will moderate this part.
Yes, hello everybody. Very good and insightful discussion. It has been a pleasure listening to all these comments. So my question here is about the different school facilities. But before going there, I would actually say that I think this vision and mission that was just discussed with Dr. Ann is the key issue. And also kind of coming back to those graduate profiles that I was discussing in my sessions. So I think there was a very general consent that change is needed. Everybody was stating that we have to make some quite dramatic changes. But how can we change if we don't know where to change to? So it's very important to have this clear vision that what the future will look like and what it look like specifically for your school, as stated before. So what does this mean to me and my students? If you're looking into the facilities, then I think some of these things were already mentioned, but let's take a couple of points from here. I would say here the general content was that we need to specify spaces. So the location matter, and these kind of various dedicated areas like digital internship office, distance support office, more clubs and associations. So we need something more to really build the community as well. There's been a lot of studies done here in the UAE on the success of education, and it a lot of times comes down to the school culture, the feeling of community, and the relationship between the teachers and the students and the schools. So we can go on to the next one. Another thing that came up in a lot of the answers was this access to the external community. So here, modern laboratories, electrical devices, and so forth, and access to this external scientific community. So schools should share laboratories with companies, with universities, and between each other as well. So your school facilities are not only limited to what you have under your own premises. There's a list of school facilities. Again, we come back to these science laboratories. So it was very clear that we're looking for a holistic approach to the children. So we have a lot of focus on STEM education, science, technology, but also then on the physical education. I think it was mentioned in the comments before, this kind of makers culture. That seems to be a very clear issue, that we want to place this where students can experiment by doing, and laboratories doing by hand, and learning also the facilitating all of that kind of learning, not just, let's say, audible learning or visual learners.
Yeah, I think these are the 3 questions we selected here. There are many, there's one more.
Yeah, I think we could continue on because I have 3 questions, and I'm quite mindful of time. We still have Dr. Mohammed's section as well. And I think maybe the second and the last questions are maybe more interesting, because I would like to, again, give this metaphor of students being like the outcome of this, this process of education. So we have to think about what is the outcome that we want to achieve? What are those graduate attributes that they have? And then we build these environments based on that. So the facility is just a means to an end. So we have to have clear vision on what we're looking for, and then purpose build these facilities accordingly. I think this was pretty much summarizing what comments we had so far. The second question, as a school leader, such as the role of teachers. So I think this is an interesting, and I'm sure there will be some discussion on this, that what is the future role of teachers? And this is another issue that has already been discussed, and Dr. Ann was facilitating this, that we see that every stakeholder, like teachers, they have to participate in school management. But then again, there's a teacher overload if you have a lot of administrative responsibilities in addition to teaching load. So we have to be also mindful of this time. And yeah, we're talking about the purpose and the role of the teacher. So a lot of answers actually kind of discussed the changing role of a teacher as becoming a learning facilitator. But the question was actually about a teacher's role in school management. So I did actually see that a lot of the answers were a little bit off the actual question, but that is also fine. There's very valuable discussion on the new role of teachers. So facilitators of learning, being part of the key stakeholders, we can go to the next one, and then contributing to the society. This was also mentioned before, that being an active voice in the society, giving feedback, giving policy and recommendation, because we are the experts. We know what works, what doesn't. If you need to know about healthcare, you ask the doctors. If you want to know about education, you should ask the teachers. So both teachers and students are struggling, especially now that we are changing a lot of these processes and we're going online. And as mentioned, it is 4 times the effort. Yes, and the student management, our experience also is that students are more likely to contact the teachers now that it's online. Maybe the barrier to get in touch is lower. So yes, how to manage this, let's say, chaos that seems to be coming up here. Here we have some very, let's say, concrete points. So I will be reading through some of them. So the role of teachers, develop and design new initiatives and reform, empowering every staff and management to be innovative and managing risks. So being kind of a community leader, change agents, and initiate some challenges, whatever it might be. Like, for example, TikTok challenges. So now students love these TikTok challenges and making mashups and these kind of things that really resonates with the students, whatever age level they are. Collaborating, helping, motivating, yeah, being champions and trying to, let's say, lift the spirits for everybody, including the school management staff and students. Research, being practical, practice-oriented. This is an issue of, let's say, the value of education going down in the eyes of the community. So it is important that we show what is the value of well-designed assessment curricula, what is to be updated on the latest news and the developments in the world. Continuous professional development, global access and competence, materials and strategies. So I think teacher training is definitely in a key role of the future. So updating our skills to be able to properly do our job. Again, there is a comments on teacher having a wider range of roles, management, learning facilitator, curriculum specialist, classroom supporter, and mentor. I think this was very good. And I think the mentor role is really something that they need. So individualized support for the students according to their needs. So I will take now then Rami's comment. So please, Ramiz, go ahead and share your thoughts. Did I lose?
Yeah, he's not on. Yeah.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, he's not there.
How about then Rana? Go
Rana.
ahead.
I'll get Rana to speak. Rana, go ahead, speak.
Okay, let's go with Angelo. Please go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Petra.
Hi.
Yeah, I just like to include this discussion on the role of teachers. I think schools need to, we need to rationalize the teachers' participation, you know. I think we became very ingrained in putting so much task, you know, to a teacher. By doing teaching, facilitating learning, and then doing some institutional contribution. But we all know that this is covered by time, you know. Let's say if you have 40 hours in a week, I only have 40 hours to work on so many things, you know. I need to teach, I need to prepare, I need to do assessment, I need to do counseling, I need to perform some leadership roles and so on. So I think school must need to know how to rationalize each teacher's contribution for each school year, or let's say some timeline, whereby teachers will more or less maximize their contribution rather than extending too much of their time, you know, accomplishing and submitting so many things like administrative work. So I think the role of teachers must really be visited and be rationalized in order to be more productive, you know, and the contribution is much rationalized.
Yeah, that's a very good comment. And I was thinking about that, you know, at the universities, like even at ADU, we've been talking about kind of differentiating different professor profiles. So some would be more focused on teaching, some would be more focused on research. So why not do the same on schools? So some are more on teaching, Maybe the others are more on the administration and doing these special initiatives with the lower teaching load, for example. So I think this kind of role shifting might be one answer to this challenge.
Yeah, because sometimes teachers, good teachers who are very good inside the classroom are the ones being tapped to manage and to lead.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't have a preparation for it. You know, they don't have the real competency to perform the task. So you are taking away good teachers, you know, for your students in a way.
Yeah, and there's a question of fairness as well. So that is the load the same for everybody, that we don't end up in a situation where those who have the skills, who have the drive, will do double the work, or just come to work for money. So, I mean, there has to be limits. I think that's a very fair comment. So Rana, I think Rana is back. So Rana.
Abbas is now here.
Abbas, please go ahead, Abbas.
And then Rana. Just we need to be brief because we are
Yes,
going
we still have one question. Yes.
Yes, all right. Actually, that was my answer here. Thank you for posting it, about being a learning facilitator and curriculum specialist. The reason why I thought of these roles here is because when people say I'm a teacher, people usually think, okay, a teacher just teaches. That's not, of course, that's not true. That's not true. But because this, maybe the concept of teacher as teach has been, you know, part of traditional norms of education. But now we've entered a new era. And so these kind of roles play a part as well, but not all people, of course, realize that. And there are many teachers who are really underappreciated because maybe they don't perform at least something else other than teaching. And I don't think that's really fair, especially for those teachers who are still maybe technophobic. They're not really technology literate yet. So I really feel like with the proper training, of course, we can really bring out the best in all of these teachers and make them stand in the spotlight as well. And that was the main reason why I thought I should include such roles into the answer here.
Yeah, very good. So increasing the confidence and I guess the comfort level in this new way of teaching. I think that's definitely one very good point.
Okay.
So let's go to the last question, which was about the challenges. So let's do this very briefly with a couple of minutes. So challenges, I think that's quite interesting. So I think many of these have already been highlighted in the discussion today. But the approved study system, home studies. So there is this stigma still that like remote learning is not as good as on face-to-face learning. And maybe we don't value that education as much. But as you say, it takes double the effort to do it, and it can yield good results. So we just have to make sure that we don't try to kind of duplicate what we do in classroom online, because that wouldn't work. We have to use different approaches and different strategies once it comes to remote learning. So reliance on technology, but I think what came out in a lot of these answers was that technology, again, is means to an end. And as you've been highlighting, it's all about soft skills and emotional intelligence, critical thinking. These are the things that we need. Technology is there, yes, we take it for given, just like we take the classroom for given. But yeah, we have to think about more globally and think about global, not a local level. Too much technology, again, isolation, issues with security, privacy, and integrity. Cyberbullying is an issue that was also highlighted. Involvement too much, what we had, use of technology, personal life, lacking social skills. So again, taking holistic approach to these children that already spend a lot of time on electronic devices on screen, and then they do school on top on screen. I know it. I have two boys in high school, and they could spend all day on their screens. So you have to get them out there, having these social skills as well. There is a good answer about the social level. So face is the social, lacking social skills. These are very, very good. Yeah, self-repeating. Yeah, I think we could also mention the values again. So I think, again, when we think about these visions for your schools, include these values and the kind of vision of what we want to have as an outcome of our educational system. What is the kind of profile? maybe put down some keywords and thinking about what are those things and how do we get to them, like doing your dependent and independent variables in research. There's a couple of very concrete challenges about curricula. Is it really designed about the student and student agency? Are we really in line with what's happening in the world? What is needed from our graduates? We have the challenge with delivery. We have a challenge with budget. Budget, of course, if we talk about technology, that's also has a cost. And then OECD position paper, there's recommended good reading. So we will share this with you also. So let's take one more slide that we have, and I think then maybe we can wrap this up.
I think we're done with all these questions.
Okay.
Now
So thank you very much, everybody. I think it's good comments, and as you see, same issues kind of come around in all of them. So all these things are intertwined. So we can't talk about the facilities at the school without talking about the vision. We can't talk about the engagement with the community without talking about the graduate profile and the facilities. So very nicely rounded discussion. Thank you very much, everybody.
Now, Dr. Fteha will talk about the upcoming workshops and certificates. Dr. Fteha.
And thank you, Dr. Hamad, and good afternoon or good evening, all colleagues. Assalamu alaikum. Happy New Year's to you and to your family. And I'm optimistic that, as you said, majority of you, that 2021 will be a better year, inshallah. We hope that. And really, I enjoyed the discussion. It reflects the competences of our participants. It's a great one. So we'll start with the video, Dr. Hamad. Great. It's just a short video highlighting the EDU 2030 Future of Education series. First, allow me to thank our higher management team, Dr. Hamad and Dr. Tom, for their great support and involvement. And without their being there all the time with us and supporting us, we will not be able to achieve what we achieved and what we are planning to do in the coming professional development certificate. And secondly, allow me also to thank our colleagues, Dr. Shireen, Dr. Bitra, and Dr. Annie, for their great informative session about Future School 2030, which is the first professional development certificate in this series, highlighted the future school vision and leadership in the future schools, educating global citizens, and what school looks like in 2030 from management perspective. Our EDU 2030 Future of Series consists of 6 professional development certificates. The 5 coming one will be run by education experts from the education department and in collaboration with and support of our colleagues from other colleges based on their area of expertise, which will be focusing mainly on future of education from educational leadership perspective, teaching and learning perspective, educational technology perspective, special and inclusive education perspective. So our main goal in EDU 2030 Future of Education will be empowering our school leaders and teachers with the teaching and leading competencies, which will allow them to educate future learners, as some of you mentioned this in your discussion, be agent of change in their school and prepare them for the future challenges. Our target audience on those series will be school leaders, teacher, special educators, and school counselor. We will come with one of the Menti question activity. Here you will have a question. If you were to attend EDU 2030, what kind of topics would you like to learn more about or discuss? So the code will be there now and you can participate.
It's the same code they already have.
Oh, so the code 4642227.
Yeah. those people who are already on and putting their contribution, they should be able to contribute with no issue.
So we are seeing some of those nice comments. Teaching through platform, school management. It becomes smaller and smaller. Yes, special education or dealing with the special needs students, people of determination, technology, leadership, good managers. Yeah, great. So it's, I think this is also still something coming from our colleagues.
Yeah.
So great. Well, like I believe all these things will be covered on the 5 professional development certificate that we will have from our colleagues. So we will start with the Yep. Maybe still something coming. Yep. We will watch this video first and then start with the first certificate. Great. So the first professional development certificate that we will have, or I mean the second one, will be embracing contemporary teaching and learning paradigm, in which we will focus mainly on empowering the teacher with updated and methods of teaching and terminology, education technology, assessment.
We lost you. Maybe are you on mute or?
No.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Yeah, no issue.
So we will discuss the current and future educational practice, enabling teachers to develop their teaching and learning competencies efficiently, which will reflect positively on preparing our students for the future. So this certificate will be having 5 modules, the next one, Dr. Hamad, and it will be run, inshallah, in January. The 5 modules are, the first one is learning and teaching for future purposes, which will be run by Dr. Sriti Nair, our Dean of College of Arts and Science. The second one will be innovation in teaching and learning, which will run by Ms. Robina Qureshi, she is having a Master of Education in Teacher Education, and she is a Stanford Ambassador for Innovation. And the third one will be developing and teaching an effective lesson, which will be run by Dr. Daniela. She's an assistant professor of education. She will be highlighting the 21st century skill, real life skills, future readiness, student-centered approach, students agency, engagement, differentiation, interdisciplinary approach, lesson model and elements of effective instruction, PPP model, engage students effective model. And the fourth one will be students engagement in diverse classroom, which will be run by Dr. Reem Hashim. She's an assistant professor of educational leadership, and she will be talking about active learning, motivation, Bloom taxonomy, collaborative learning, gamification, flipped classroom, and problem solving. And the last module will be run by Professor Ghanem Al-Bustami, an educational psychologist, and he will be talking about developing and evaluating assessment, in which we will cover different type of assessment and how we can go with the evaluation and assessment process within the classroom, and how we monitor and progress or monitor our students' progress during teaching and learning process. Next, Dr. Hamad.
Just one more video.
So not only this one, we have also other, as Dr. Hamad mentioned, we have a lot of series, a lot of professional development certificate. So we will be having other coming soon, inshallah, during April, June, September, and December. The coming one in April will be, if you go to the previous one, Dr. Hamad, the April one, will be leadership in education, strategic and operational dimensions, which we will cover school leadership, leading change in education, data-informed decision-making for school leaders, and instructional supervision. And it will be mainly for school leaders and HODs and supervisors. The June certificate will be directly for school counselor. So the title is School Counselor Readiness for Change, Professional Development Certificate, in which we will cover in Module 1, Advanced Counseling Skill, Positive Psychology and Spirituality in the Schools. Module 2, Counseling Process and Legal Issues. Module 3, Counseling Young People and Career Counseling. Module 4, dealing with stress and anxiety disorder and depression among school children. And Module 5 will be multicultural counseling in the school. The third one will be in September, and then new academic year, inshallah. It will be about use of technology in a hybrid education, in which we will cover instructional design and education technology, technology integration in the classroom, assessment in distance learning, engage students in distance learning, and artificial intelligence in education. And the last one will be in December, since December is the International Month for Disability. So we will be covering education for all, inclusive and special education perspective, in which we will talk about inclusive and special education, disability covered by special education, educational management and of students with disability in both inclusive and special education settings, and behavioral management approaches with exceptional children. Those are our 5 professional development certificates under the EDU 2030 Future of Education series. We are excited to have you join us. I hope that you will be seeing the access here through the link and also through the barcode that Dr. Ahmed created. And see you soon, inshallah, in January with the second series, which is the teaching and learning one. Thank you, Dr. Hamad, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. As you can see, Team Abu Dhabi University taking this seriously, and we fully believe and in community engagement and community service, and would like to work with you in partnership to make sure we make the contribution we can, and also we learn from you and we learn from each other and provide the support needed for our students to meet their goals and objectives, inshallah. So thank you, everyone. Happy New Year, and wish you all the best, and we would like to see you in the next session. By the way, if you can't find the link, if you go to our community portal, you will find it on the main page of our community portal, which I just show you now quickly. Also, there is here, you will find our chat bot. If you ask him anytime, what are the upcoming events, it will tell you. But this is the one, you click on it, it will take you to the registration page, and please register there, and then we can have you on our database and we start contacting you. So thank you, everyone. Dr. Shireen, do you want to say anything before we just close up? Yeah, you are on mute. You are on mute.
No, I just would like to thank you all, thank the participants, and I would like to thank you, Dr. Hamad, Dr. Fatiha, Anne, and Petra. Thank you so much, and I wish you a happy New Year and nice holidays, and see you in 2021.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Happy
you so
New
much.
Year, everyone.
Good night. Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
New Year, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Happy New Year. Goodbye. Thank you, everybody.